We're off exploring Bali today, and we'll be taking roughly a 4.5 hour journey to what seems a very distant place called Pemuteran. We're going to start our drive from Sanur and go via Denpasar heading up to Mengwi, which is home to some wonderful places worth a visit like Taman Ayun Temple, Alas Getaton Sacred Monkey Forest, or the impressive Ogo Ogo Museum. And then from Mengwi we begin climbing toward the Central Highlands. And as the road gains altitude, the air becomes noticeably cooler and the scenery changes from dense township to farmland and forest. This part of the island is known as the Bedugul Highlands. Up here we pass two of Bali's crater lakes, Lake Buyan and Lake Tambelingan, which sit side by side in an old volcanic basin. The lakes are surrounded by forest and are often covered in cloud or mist, which is common at this elevation. Continuing north, we reach the small mountain village of Gobleg. The road runs along a ridge here with good views down back towards the lakes, and the area is known for clove and coffee farming. From Gobleg, the road begins a long and winding descent along Jalan Serer Bubuan. The route heads downhill through plantations and small rural settlements before reaching the flatter coastal plain. Eventually, we arrive at the busy roadside villages around Bubunan. From here, we join the main North Coast Highway and head west. Traffic usually thins out along this stretch as the Bali Sea appears to the right and the landscape becomes more rugged. Ahead, we can see the coastal foothills associated with the dormant Mount Merbuk rising above the shoreline. The road then cuts through these rocky hills where sections of the cliff have been carved away to allow access along the coast. Once through this section, the view opens up and we arrive at Pemuteran. This area is world famous for its snorkeling and dive sites, and we will be travelling to Menjangan Island in the West Bali National Park to do this. Small fact, while we're here, the park was actually created to preserve the Bali tiger, but it unfortunately became extinct before opening. The park is though home to a number of other animal species, including the famous white Bali starling or Bali minor bird, which is also on the critically endangered list. We're walking down to Pemuteran Beach and we have to go down, if you can see behind me, this narrow little alley from the hotel. And I can see the water, so there's no problem with it not being there. It's an unusual little setup. We're walking between sort of two villas or houses.
There's no dogs, at least.
No dogs, no, there's no dogs. Lots of cats. This is a cat town. And the water looks very calm. Looks good. One track to the beach. And there we have it. Peaceful. It's a nice wide section right over there in that bay. And we've got very fine dark coloured sand. There's a rock in the water there, be careful. And some bed 50,000 to 3 towers over there. Well, I'm not sure what's up there. We'll go and investigate. I think over in the distance there's a little up there of mountain. I think that is started. So while we were down the beach, we found this place called Reefs. I think it's called.
Yeah.
And there was a little cafeteria in there, and they had an antique cappuccino machine. So we had a couple of cappuccinos. Very nice. And a couple of nice little wheat biscuits. And then we decided to have a little bit of a walk up the beach, and we saw this snorkeling, diving board, and went in to this place and made the inquiry, which took a little bit of interpretation and a phone call. And then not too long after, we asked to sit down and wait speakers. And we did that, and this chap comes up, and his name was Tom, and introduced himself and told us all about the rates and what was to happen. And it takes off at 9 o'clock in the morning from the beach down there. We had to walk down. We said we could even pick you up, not that far. And all inclusive, $65 or 650,000 rupiah each per person on a shared boat, and the boat take a maximum of 12 people. And I'm assuming that's including the skipper. And possibly is offside. And everything is included. So that includes lunch, snorkeling tour, equipment, and sightseeing on Menjangan Island. So we're considering it. A private boat was to be, I think, 250,000 rupiah each.
No. $250 was $4 million.
Sorry, 2.5 million rupiah. So $250.
It's $250. We'll get one.
So that makes it a $500 spend if you want to do a private boat for 6 people. So we immediately, being the we're just pensioning, and we said we'd probably consider the shared boat. And we have till 9 o'clock this evening to decide whether we want to go with him. He's just going to make another inquiry and see what we can find. I think this is about the average price for it. So it includes the admission into the national park too, which you have to have. And I think that's 20 to 200,000 rupiah just for that. So that's what we're investigating at the moment. Bit of excitement. So we'll see how we go. We're just about here to make our second inquiry. I'll let you know how we go. Okay, I've got an update for you with the snorkeling excursion. We went to place number 2, which is actually the reception of where we're staying at Tirtasari Bungalows, and inquired there, and it's cheaper. It's only 600,000 per person. It includes the same that the other guy was offering, so we're saving 5,000 or 50,000 each. So that's not bad, and it leaves at 8:45, so it gets there 15 minutes before his boat, and so we beat the crowds. And I was just looking at a map they have on their wall, and there was about 10 or 12 different dive spots that they have, and I'm not sure if that's particularly snorkeling or just paddy diving. So yeah, that's our adventure for tomorrow. Snorkeling. God help us.
It is very, very hot here in Pemuteran, I have to say, closer to the equator than Sanur, and really hot and humid. Anyway, as we're coming out for dinner tonight, we bumped into the girl from reception, and she said, because it's very quiet here, there's not many people around at all, and she said there's nobody else booked on the boat for tomorrow, so you can't go. We're like, what? That's the whole reason we came here, to go to Menjangan Island. So she said you can't go unless you get a private boat, which costs a lot more, and that would be 1,900,000 for both of us. So it's around about $100 each for a private boat with all the equipment, including lunch, blah blah, which is a lot of money, but we've come all the way here to go snorkeling. So looks like we're going to have to do that. We've booked it for tomorrow. She said you can go whatever time you like, so I think we'll probably still go at around 9. But so that should be fun and hopefully nice and calm, and we don't drown or get eaten by a reef shark.